burnout doesn't start when you collapse. It starts the morning you feel nothing walking through that door. Sunday evening. You open your laptop to check tomorrow's calendar, and your chest tightens. Not because anything terrible is waiting, just meetings, emails, the usual stuff. But somewhere along the way, the usual started feeling unbearable. You used to care about this job. Now you're Googling, is it normal to dread work every single day? This video isn't about quitting. It's about recovering from burnout while staying right where you are and actually making it work. Most people confuse burnout with being tired. They think a long weekend or a vacation will fix everything. But burnout isn't about rest, it's about resentment, detachment, and feeling like nothing you do matters anymore. The World Health Organization officially classified burnout as an occupational phenomenon in 2019. It has 3 core dimensions: exhaustion, cynicism toward your work, and a collapsed sense of professional ability. If you're dragging yourself through every day and feeling hollow by Friday, that's not laziness. That's your brain and body telling you something fundamental is broken in how you're working. Recognizing this distinction matters because the fix for tired is sleep, but the fix for burnout is structural change. Now, most people assume burnout means they simply have too much work. Sometimes that's true. But more often, the real source is something subtler and harder to name. Maybe you've lost control over how you spend your time, every hour dictated by someone else's priorities. Maybe expectations keep shifting and nobody tells you what good enough actually looks like. A study from the University of California, Berkeley found that lack of fairness and lack of autonomy were stronger predictors of burnout than workload alone. So before you ask your manager to reduce your tasks, get specific. Write down the moments last week when you felt the most drained. Was it the volume, or was it a particular person, a recurring meeting, or the feeling that your effort goes completely unnoticed? The source shapes the solution, and most people skip this step entirely. Once you know what's draining you, the next move is protecting your energy without torching your reputation. This is where people get nervous. They think setting boundaries means becoming the person who says no to everything and gets quietly sidelined. But boundaries aren't about doing less. They're about doing the right things with intention. Start with your calendar. Block 2 hours a week that are yours, no meetings, no Slack, just focused work or genuine recovery time. When someone asks you to take on something new, try this phrase: I can take that on. Which of my current priorities should I move back? That single question shifts the burden of prioritization where it belongs, on your manager, not on your already overloaded shoulders. You're not refusing work. You're forcing a conversation about trade-offs that should have been happening all along. Beyond boundaries, there's something researchers call job crafting, one of the most powerful tools for burnout recovery that almost nobody uses. Job crafting means reshaping your existing role to better fit your strengths and interests, without needing anyone's permission. Maybe you start mentoring a junior colleague, which reconnects you to the parts of work you once loved. Maybe you volunteer to lead a small initiative in an area that genuinely excites you, even if it sits slightly outside your lane. A Yale study by Amy Rzesniewski found that employees who actively crafted their jobs reported significantly higher satisfaction and engagement, even without changing roles. You can also redesign how you work day to day. Batch your email into 2 daily check-ins instead of constant monitoring. Move your hardest tasks to your peak energy hours. Take a real lunch break away from your desk. Even 15 minutes outside resets your nervous system more than you'd expect. These aren't radical changes. They're micro adjustments that compound over weeks into something that feels genuinely different. Burnout doesn't just drain your energy, it kills your sense of meaning. You forget why you chose this career in the first place. Rebuilding that connection takes deliberate effort, not just wishful thinking. Start by writing down 3 things your work made possible this year, not accomplishments for your resume, but real impact on real people. Maybe you helped a teammate navigate a tough project. Maybe your work gave a client something they genuinely needed. Meaning doesn't always come from the big wins. Sometimes it lives in the small moments you stopped noticing because you were running on autopilot. Another powerful move is reconnecting with people outside your immediate team. Have coffee with someone in a different department. Attend an industry meetup or join a professional community. Burnout shrinks your world down to your task list and your inbox. Fighting it means deliberately expanding your world again. So here is your one action for today. Open your calendar right now and block 90 minutes this week that belong entirely to you. Label it focus time or strategy block, whatever language keeps people from booking over it. Use that time for something that gives you energy, not something that drains it. That single act is a declaration that your well-being is not negotiable. Burnout didn't happen overnight, and recovery won't either. But it starts with one small boundary, honored consistently, week after week. You don't have to quit to feel alive at work again. You just have to stop waiting for someone else to fix what only you can protect. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching. If this gave you one idea you can use today, hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one.